Hey guys, it's Tara and welcome back to another video. Today we're gonna be making New York style pizza. I'm gonna show you how to make the sauce, how to make the crust. It is so good. But before we get started, if you haven't already, I would love for you to join our community, so smash that subscribe button. Here's a list of the ingredients we'll be using today. They will also be in the description box below. To start, we're gonna get a large mixing cup and we're gonna put 1.5 cups of warm water, 3 teaspoons of active dry yeast, and 1 teaspoon of cane sugar, and give that a stir. I'm gonna talk more about the importance of the water temperature when using yeast and sugar here in just a little bit, so keep watching. Next, we're gonna grab some double O flour. If you don't have double O flour, you can use bread flour, and I'm using 4 cups of this double O flour. This is the first time I've used this, and I was actually blown away with the results of it. It's kind of hard to find, so I'll leave a link below. Next, we're gonna add 1 teaspoon of salt and 1/2 tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil. When your yeast sugar mixture looks like this, we know we're ready to proceed. It takes about 5 minutes. So I've started my stand mixer on the recommended settings, and I slowly add the water mixture in. I did end up using all of the mixture, but it's good to just do it slowly just in case. The temperature in your room, altitude, everything makes a difference. I do find it's helpful to scrape the sides down a little bit when using my stand mixer. It just helps everything to incorporate a little bit better. After about 5 to 6 minutes, the dough will be very sticky and it's ready. It's perfect. Next, I'm grabbing a large bowl and I'm spraying it with some cooking spray. You could brush it with oil if you'd like instead. It needs to be greased. This is very important. This dough is very sticky. We do not want it to stick to the bowl. And I did spray the top as well. And now I'm just covering it with some plastic wrap. You want to make sure it's covered really tight so that no drafts get in there. And then I do cover it with a dish towel also, just to make it nice and cozy. And then I set it aside. Next, we're grabbing a large can of whole peeled tomatoes, and I'm grabbing 5 garlic cloves. We are getting ready to start the sauce. Oh, I love garlic. You could use more, you could use less. I love garlic, so I tend to use a little bit more. And here I just kind of smashed it down. It makes it a little bit easier to take the peel off. And of course, I'm gonna use my garlic press. I love this garlic press. If you don't have one, you really should consider getting one. It makes it so easy. So I decided this time just to kind of get all of my stuff set up that I was gonna end up putting in the sauce. It's just, sometimes that's just a great way to do it, so I don't have to keep stopping throughout it. And I grabbed a big handful of fresh parsley, and I chopped this up really, really small. If you don't have fresh parsley, you could use dried. I had it on hand, so I decided to use it. In a medium-sized saucepan, I took about 1 to 1.5 tablespoons of olive oil, and I put the garlic in there. And I don't put the stove on until after the garlic is in, because you do not want to put the garlic into a hot pan because it's going to burn pretty quick. So I'm kind of sauteing it up. I did take 1 teaspoon of red chili flakes. I love a kind of spicy kick, especially for pizza sauce. And so I like to toast that up with the garlic, and I added just another little drizzle of olive oil. Now I'm adding the can of tomatoes. You could use a can of tomato sauce. You could use fresh tomatoes. You could use anything you like, but that's what I had on hand. And then I took 3 teaspoons of onion powder. I didn't have any fresh onion. If I did, I could have used that also, but this works just as well. And then I used 3 teaspoons of basil. Again, fresh works also, I just didn't have any. And just give that a good stir. I'm just really wanting to cook this down a little bit, and I took a few cracks of the Himalayan pink salt and some fresh black pepper and put that in there also. Feel free to change up the spices any way you like. I did add a teaspoon of cane sugar. You can leave this out if you want, but I really think it adds to the sauce. And then of course some wine. This is a Nebbiolo. I love this wine. I used about 1/2 cup, and then I figured I would drink some while I'm making the sauce. Why not? I am Italian. So I stirred it up. I'm really wanting this to cook down, and then I grabbed my immersion blender. If you don't have an immersion blender, you could just blend it up, or you could just keep cooking it down until it just kind of purees on its own. But an immersion blender is a really useful tool in the kitchen. It does a really good job of it, and I don't even have to take it off the stove because this one's metal. I decided to add just a little bit of salt, a little bit more, and another teaspoon of onion powder. Cooking is so much has so much to do with taste. I keep tasting it and saying, does it need this or that? And at this point, I did add the fresh parsley. Usually it's better to wait until the very end to add the fresh herbs. And now I'm just really letting it cook down. So after about 15-20 minutes, I tasted it again and thought I'm gonna add a teaspoon of dried thyme. I really wished I had oregano, but I just didn't have any on hand, and I feel like it adds something to a pizza sauce. So at this point, I thought the sauce was just a little bit watery, so I grabbed a small can of tomato paste. This is a great hack to thicken sauce, especially if you're using fresh tomatoes. To use just a little bit of tomato paste, it'll thicken it up. But even after doing this, I thought the sauce was just a little bit too chunky still, so I grabbed my Vitamix and I decided I was just gonna blend it up. And I know, I use my immersion blender for nothing, but you know what? If you like it a little bit chunky, just use the immersion blender. If you want it to be smooth like this, stick it in a blender. I decided to do both, why not? But this was just perfect. It was delicious. So next we're grabbing our cutting board and about 1/4 of a cup of the 00 flour or bread flour, whatever you're using. And look at this. It's been rising. It looks wonderful. I did let you guys know, I was gonna let you know why it's so important that the water temperature is right. We want it between 105 and 110 degrees Fahrenheit in order for it to rise properly. Otherwise, you'll be very disappointed with the results. Trust me, guys, this is very important. So I'm just kind of using my Brooklyn skills, you know, not that I ever worked in a pizza shop, but if I did, this is how I would have done it. So I'm just kind of stretching it out, and the 00 flour has a lot of high gluten content, so it actually stretches really well. So after I got it to just about stretched as much as I wanted it to be stretched right now, I covered it with a towel again and waited about 10 minutes just to let it rest. If you work it too much, it gets tough. I grabbed my pizza stone out of my preheated oven to 450 degrees, and I grabbed about 1/4 of a cup of cornmeal. I didn't use all of it. I used half of it for this pizza. And now I'm gonna very gently try to slide the pizza over and not tear it. If it does tear, just fold it over itself and squeeze it back together. It's pretty forgiving, especially like I said with this flour. I was very, very happy with the results. Perfect. I did grab a fork. This is a little hack also. If you poke holes in it, it will not get really that big bubble that sometimes can happen if you're making pizza. I placed it inside of my oven for about 5 to 6 minutes just to get the dough to set. The dough takes the longest time. The toppings and everything else will melt a lot faster than the dough will be ready. So it's really good to make it for about 5 to 8 minutes before you put anything else on it. Now I grabbed the mozzarella and I kind of just broke it up. This is fresh mozzarella, I love it. And I grabbed about 1/2 cup of cooked chicken. I made this chicken in my air fryer. It's delicious. That's one of the things I love about pizza. You could pretty much put anything on it that you like, and now it's ready to go in the oven. I set my timer for 10 minutes. It actually took 15 minutes, and then it was ready. My husband's pizza, his personal pizza. Oh, look at that. Oh, it looks so good. Just like I remember from Brooklyn. Absolutely delicious. You could throw anything else on there that you like. You can clean out your fridge doing it this way. Now it's time to make mine. So I grabbed 1 yellow squash. I decided to go for a rainbow pizza, a veggie pizza. And here's the toppings I'm gonna put on there. Oh, they look so good. I love cherry tomatoes. I grabbed a handful of them and I decided just to kind of chop them up. Don't chop your fingers. I love putting fresh veggies on pizza. I have some baby spinach and the squash. If I had zucchini, I would have put that on there. You could put eggplant on there. Of course, I'm grabbing some more cloves of garlic. I absolutely love garlic. I decided I'm gonna put just a little sprinkling of it all over the pizza and just really kick it up a notch. So I chopped it all up. Yeah, I could use my garlic press. I already had it in the sink. So same thing, the other half of the 1/4 of a cup, so 1/8 of a cup of cornmeal, and I'm stretching my pizza out on there as well. Same thing, poke it with the fork, and then stick that in the preheated oven also for about 5 to 8 minutes. So I pulled it out and I took 1½ ladles of the tomato sauce and spread it all out on there, and I chopped up my baby spinach. I love adding spinach to a pizza. Anything to put extra greens on is good with me. A little sprinkling of the garlic and the cherry tomatoes and the cheese. If you're vegan, you don't have to use cheese. You can use nutritional yeast. Sometimes I do that. Today, I decided to add the mozzarella. And look at that. Look at that, it's ready to go in the oven. I love making pizza. It's so versatile. You could put any toppings on that you like. Look at that. This pizza was absolutely delicious. I cannot wait to hear what you guys think about it. You are gonna have sauce left over, so you could freeze it and save it for the next time if you like, or just use it on some pasta. If you like today's video, give me a big thumbs up and drop me a comment and let me know your favorite type of pizza. And if you haven't already, I would love for you to join our community, so smash that subscribe button. I post new videos every Sunday. And be sure to follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Well, guys, thanks for cooking with me. See you next time. Bye, guys.